Hello everyone, this is Varsha. Welcome to Programming Knowledge. So in the previous tutorial we learnt about the Xpath operators and also the Xpath functions, as well as we learnt about the different types of Xpath, that is the relative Xpath and the active Xpath, the different types of locators. Also we have studied the ID, name, the CSS selector, link text and everything. So in this tutorial we will learn about the advanced Xpath with their access method, in which we will cover what is the Xpath Axes and why do we use this Xpath Axes. Also we will understand the different types of Xpath Axes and their relationship with their nodes. This is the most important thing that we need to understand. Next we are going to understand their syntax, their descriptions, and also we will implement it practically. We will automate two websites. Let me show you those. First is this website. We will automate this table as well as we will automate this form. So let's get started. So the first thing that we need to understand is what is the Xpath Axes. Now the Xpath Axes are those axes that is used to search for multiple nodes in the XML document for the current node context. Now what is this current node context? We will understand while studying the relationship of nodes. Now why are we using the Xpath Axes if we have locators like the ID, name, class, link text, and all these locators are there? Still we are using the Xpath Axes. Why? See, in the previous tutorial I explained about some of the Xpath functions, right? That is the contains method and the text method and the starts with method. So even after using those Xpath functions, we cannot identify the element. That is when we can use the Xpath Axes. So what to do when the Xpath functions fail to identify the elements? In that case we will use the Xpath Axes along with the Xpath functions. Like the Xpath functions can be contact, contains, text, start with. We can use those functions as well as the Xpath Axes. Also we can use those selectors like the ID, name, class, link text, CSS selectors. These locators can also be used. Okay, so this is what Xpath Axes is and why do we use Xpath Axes. Next, there are different types of Xpath Axes. Like we have the child, we have the parent, we have following, preceding, following sibling, preceding sibling, ancestor, descendants. We will understand these terms in detail. Now here it comes. This is the relationship of node. Okay, this is one of the most important thing we need to learn in Xpath Axes. You need to remember, you need to understand this relationship of node picture, and so just have a look at this picture properly and see. This topic is a bit difficult to understand, but once you get a hang of this relationship of nodes, it will be very easier for you to locate the elements in the DOM HTML structure. Okay, so now let's start from this node, that is the self node. Now I would suggest you that take this relationship nodes in your family context, as in when you study your family tree, that is the ancestor, parents, your siblings, your children, your descendants. So when you take in those contexts, when you take in those family terms, it will be very easier for you to understand this relationship. Okay, because there are many different keywords that we need to understand: the ancestor, the parent, the child, the preceding sibling, the following sibling. So to get a hang of it, just keep yourself over here and just imagine your family tree. So here this is you and this is the self element. Okay, each and every node present over here is an element. Okay, so this is self element. So what will be your parent element? The one above the self element is the parent element, that here you can see is 3. This is your parent element. And your ancestor is 1. Now if you keep yourself over here, who will be your ancestors? Your parents will be your ancestor, right? So in this case 1 is your ancestor. So now this is your self element, 3 is the parent, 1 is the ancestor. Now if you keep yourself over here, your children, that is the 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, these are the child nodes that are present over here. Okay, this is you. The one above you is your parent and your parent's parent is your ancestor. And your children are your child nodes, that is the 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. These are your child nodes. Okay, coming to the next term, that is a descendant. Now what are those descendants? Descendant nodes are children's children as well as the children. Okay, that means descendant will be your 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. keeping yourself over here, your children and your children's children will be your descendants. Okay, so what did we understand till now? Keeping yourself over here, the element above you is the parent, parent's parent is the ancestor, that is the 1, and your child nodes, that is your children, are your child nodes, children's are your descendant nodes. Okay, now let's go to the preceding and the following. These are the two terms that are left. Now the preceding siblings and the following siblings. Okay, now here let's take in terms of family tree. This is yourself, keep yourself over here. Okay, now just imagine that your brothers and sisters that are elder to you, okay, is your preceding sibling, and your brothers and sisters that are younger to you are your following siblings. Okay, this is what is following siblings and preceding siblings. Now coming to preceding and following. Now here following means the elements that come after the current HTML tag. The current HTML tag means the self tag. The elements that come after the self tag is the following tag, which includes the following siblings also. Whereas preceding is the elements that come before the self tag, which includes the preceding siblings as well. See, when we practically implement this, it will be more easier to understand. You will understand in a very better way. Okay, we will do that practical implementation also. So let's see the syntax. These are the two slashes that are always present in the Xpath. We will write the tag name slash, the single slash, axis, that is the child, parent or ancestor or anything, and there is an operator that is specially used over here, that is the scope of operator. In the scope of operator, these two colons, and then we will write the target element, whatever it is, the target element that we want to specify. So let's have a description of this. As I said, child means it traverses all the child element of the current HTML tag. Okay, so let's look at the description of it. The first is a child. It traverses all the child elements of the current HTML tag. All the child elements of the current HTML tag. Our current HTML tag is the self tag. Okay, it is traversing all the child elements of the current HTML tag, that is 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Next is the parent. Traverse all the parent element of the current HTML tag. So the parent over here is 3. Okay, our current HTML tag is self, so the element above the self is the parent element, right? So your 3 is the parent element. Next we have the following. Traverse all the elements that comes after the current tag. After the current tag, right? Self is the current tag, all the elements after the current tag, that includes the 7, 8 and also the 4. So this is the following. Okay, see, there is a difference between following and following siblings. Okay, the following siblings consist of 7 and 8 element only, whereas following is having 4, 7 and 8. Okay, so there is a difference between the two. Next, coming to the preceding. Traverse all the nodes that comes before the current HTML tag. So the current HTML tag is self. Before the current HTML tag is 2, 5 and 6. Okay, so this is your preceding elements. Next we have the following siblings. Traverse from current HTML tag to the next sibling HTML tag. Traverse from the current HTML tag, this self, to the next HTML tag, that is this. This is your next HTML tag, which is just next to it, right? Next to your self tag, which is 7 and 8. So this will be a following sibling. Going to preceding sibling, traverse from current HTML tag to previous sibling HTML tag. Current HTML tag is self, previous sibling HTML tag is this, that is the 5 and the 6. Okay, next we have the ancestors, that is your grandparents and parent. Traverse all the ancestor elements of the current HTML tag. So the ancestor over here is 1, this is your current HTML tag is self and the ancestor is 1. Next we have the descendant. It traverses all the descendant elements, now which consists of the child node, the grandchild nodes of the current HTML tag. So this is the current HTML tag, the child node, that is the 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13, and the grandchild nodes, that is the 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. So this is all about the relationship table, in which we covered about the ancestor, the parent, the child, descendant, the following, the preceding sibling, and the following siblings. Now let's implement this. So these two sites we will automate today. We will automate this table as well as this form. Now this table is dynamic. It keeps on changing. It is the Rediff money.rediff.com, the gainers page, in which we have the markets companies present over here, which keeps on changing according to their prices. And so we're going to automate this table today, which is dynamic. Also we're going to automate this form. Now this form is static, this is dynamic. So just open your IntelliJ IDEA IDE. Okay, so I have already created a Java class in this Selenium package, and I have named it as Selenium tutorial 7. So we're going to implement our advanced Xpath Axes in this Selenium tutorial 7. So like the 3 lines is always the same in all the programs. So first is the open the Chrome browser, that is the system.set property, in which we have to specify the key value and the value that is present, that is the executable file you need to write over here. And the key that we use is the webdriver.chrome.driver, because we're launching the Chrome browser. The next line that we write is the WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver. And why do we write this? I have explained in the previous tutorials. So you can go and check out that. The next thing that we're going to do is we are navigating to the URL. So we are going to use the driver.get command, in which we're going to navigate to the particular URL. The next that we're going to write is the maximizing the window, in which we are using the driver.manage.window.maximize command. Okay, so these are the 3 things that we are going to do. So let's execute this. And yeah, we are automating this table first, and then we will jump onto this page. Okay, so first automate this one. So let's execute this first. Let's see whether we can launch the Chrome browser or not. So our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated and it's maximized. Okay. So far these commands are working. So let's get started with the Xpath Axes. So first important thing that we need to identify is the self node. On the basis of the self node, we will identify the other relationships, that is the ancestor, the parent, the descendants, and everything. Okay. So first thing is we will identify the self node. So I'll take any of the column. Let me take this one. Okay, so I'll just click on inspect, and I'll be using the SelectorsHub Xpath tool. I have explained about the SelectorsHub in the previous tutorial, how to install it, so you can check out that. I'll also give the link in the description box to install it. Okay, so this is the element that I inspected. Here you can see Raj Television Network. So what I'll do is I will copy this relative path, I'll paste it over here, and I'll write the contains method over here. Let me use the contains method. So here you can see we have one element matching. So what I'll do, first I'll identify the self. So the syntax for it is that I'm writing the tag name, I'm using the function that is the contains function of the Xpath. I'll place a slash over here, then I'll write self and the tag name. Here you can see the tag name is A, right? So I will write A and click on enter, and here you can see there's one element matching, that is this one. Okay, so I'll copy this and I'll write driver dot find element by dot Xpath, and I'll place it over here. And what I want to do is I want to click this link. So let's see. So let me run this. So our Chrome browser is executed, it's navigated, and it's maximized. And here you can see the Raj Television Network is clicked. Okay, so we were performing the operation of click, so it's clicked. So I'll just close this. So here you can see this is the self node. We are using the self command. We are identifying the self command over here just by writing one slash self, 2 colons, and the tag name that is we are using is A. Okay. Next, let's see is the parent node. Okay, let's find the parent node. This is our element. Now we have to find the parent node, that is the node above the self node, that is the current HTML tag that we're taking is the A, right? Above it we have the TD tag. Okay, so this will be our parent node. So now what if we don't know? What I'll do is I'll just write this will be the command, that is I'm writing the tag name A. I'm using the contains function, and then I'll write one slash and I'll use the parent over here, and what I'll do is I'll write the asterisk, and here I can see I have one parent over here which is identified for this element, that is the Raj Television Network. Okay, for this element the parent is here. This is the parent where you can see it's identified over here. Here you can see it's highlighted. So this is the parent. This is in case when we don't know the parent of the current HTML tag. Okay, now here we know the parent, right? So since I have written one slash parent and the two colons over here, which is in scope of operator, and then I'll write TD. Okay, so here I can see again it's a one element matching, that is this one. So what I'll do is I'll copy this and driver dot find element by dot Xpath this, and let's do one thing. I will retrieve the text over here. Okay, so let's retrieve the text. So I'll write get text method, and let me give a string variable over here. I'll write parent node. Then the next thing that I'll write is the system out.println. I'll type the parent node is similarly I'll do for this one also. Let's see what value do we get. Get text, and I will give a variable over here. So I'll write the self node is. So let's see what value it prints. So I'll execute this command. A Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. So let's see. See, the self node is Raj Television Network and the parent node is Raj Television Network. Now here there's one thing to notice, that is there any value in TD? Here we can see it's here. Is there any value in TD? There is no value in TD. There is no value in TD. So that is the reason why we are not getting any value printed over here. The only value that we are getting over here is Raj Television Network, because under the parent element, under the TD tag, we have the A tag, right, which has the link of the Raj Television Network. So that is the reason why it is printing Raj Television Network. If TD would be having any value, the parent node value would be different from the self node value. Okay, we will understand that in the forms when we will do, we will navigate the different website, this form website. At that time we will see the values also. At that time the values will be different. Okay, so for now to understand, the TD tag is having no value. So that is the reason why we are getting the Raj Television Network over here. Okay. So now moving to the next thing is see the child nodes. So now if I write child, two colons and the asterisk. So here we can see we have 0 element matching over here. There is no child node of this A tag. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, first we will go to the ancestor, and then we will find the child elements. For ancestor, that is the TR tag is having different child elements, like here you can see the B 34.05 and 39.20. So these are the child elements of TR tag, right? So we're going to find the TR tag, TR tags child elements. Okay, so how are we going to do? This is the self tag, that is the A tag. The parent tag is the TD tag, and the ancestor tag that we can see over here is the TR tag. Okay, so first we'll go to the TR tag, we'll go to the ancestor, and then from there we will traverse the child elements. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Just have a look at it. This is the tag name that I'm using, that is the A tag name, and the contains method that is given over here. Then I'm given the slash over here, and then I'll write the ancestor. Here it is. Okay, who's my ancestor? My ancestor's tag is tr tag. Here you can see this is the tr tag. Click on enter, and here I can see there's one element matching to it. Okay, this is the element that is matching to it. Here you can see it's getting highlighted. Okay, so I have gone to my ancestor, I have traversed till my ancestor. Now I want to find the child elements of my ancestor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another slash over here, write child colons, and let's see how many. I'm getting 5 child elements over here. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, this is the fourth one, and this is the fifth one. Okay, now see, Selectors Hub is having this feature of identifying these 5 elements which are matching, which is showing over here also. So it's a great tool to use. So I would suggest you to use Selectors Hub for the Xpath access when you're finding the Xpath access, because you will get a knowledge of writing the Xpath as well. It's not that you're getting used to this tool or not. See, sometimes people think by using this tool we are not getting a hang of writing your Xpath. That's not the point. If you write your Xpath over here, it tells you whether you're writing it right or wrong. Like if I just clear this one, so you can see it's red in color, but when I write this, it's not having any color. So it shows you that the Xpath that you're writing is correct or wrong. So that will help you, like if you write bigger scripts, so in that case that will help you. So it is a very good tool to use. So use Selectors Hub. I would prefer you to use Selectors Hub. Okay, as in the previous tutorial I explained about the chropath plugin also, but the Selectors Hub is the advanced version of the chropath plugin. So I would recommend not to use chropath for now, because it's not that updated till now. So Selectors Hub is more updated, so use Selectors Hub. Okay, like here you can see I placed the asterisk mark, and here you can see there are different TD tags present over here. That is the child elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are having 5 elements over here. Okay, so now what we're going to, so till now what we did, we went to the ancestor tag, that is a tr tag, and then we traverse the child elements over here. What I'll do is I will write driver dot xpath find elements, because I'm finding multiple elements over here. Okay, the child nodes that I'm having, the number of child nodes is 5. I'm not finding one element, I'm finding multiple elements over here. Okay, so find elements, then I'll write by dot xpath, and I will write the entire xpath over here. Now what I'll do is I want to know the number of child elements present over here. I'll print the number of child elements present over here. So I'll write child node is equal to this. Now what we are finding a web element, a multiple web elements we are finding, right? So I'll write web element. Now this is the web element child node, but we are finding multiple elements. We are using find elements, right? So it is a list of multiple elements. So what I'll do is I'll write list web element child node driver dot find elements by dot xpath, and the xpath that is present over here. Now what I want is I want to print this. So the number of child nodes are child node dot size. Okay, so let's, and after this what I want is I want to close the browser. So I'll write driver dot close. Okay, so let's run. So the Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized, and it's closed. Okay, now here you can see the self node is Raj Television Network, the parent node is Raj Television Network. The same value is given because the TD tag is not having any value, and the number of child nodes are 5. Here you can see we have 5 elements that is identified, so the number of child nodes are 5. Okay, so far we have seen the self node, the parent node, and the child node. Let's see the ancestor node, since we have seen already, but let's print it. Okay, so what I'll do is same, these are my ancestors. So let me see, so there is only one ancestor over here. Okay, so I will copy this and I'll write driver dot find element by dot Xpath, the ancestor, and what I want is I want get text, so I'll save it in a variable that is string variable. I'll write is at ancestor node is equal to driver dot find element by dot Xpath, and next I'll print it the ancestor node is and plus ancestor node. Okay, so let's see, let's run this command. So my Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized, and it's closed. So here you can see the ancestor node is Raj Television Network B. Now see, when you're traversing the ancestor, that is the tr tag. Under tr tag, we have the different tags, right? That is the td tag, the td this tag, then this td tag, then the tr tag is closing. Now from this tag to this tag, the number of tags that we are having, it will print all the tags. First is printing the Raj, here you can see the Raj Television, then it's printing B, then it's printing 34.05. Just have a look at it. Here you can see we have the Raj Television Network, then we are printing B, then we are printing 34.05, and then the 39.02, and then plus 15.12. So it's printing the entire. Why? Because under the tr tag, under this tr tag, there are different td tags that is present, and under td tag we have the different values that are present over here. That is the Raj Television Network, then the B, then 34.04, 39.02, and so on. Okay, so like these, there are 5 to 6 elements that we are printed over here. This is all about the ancestor. Now let's see the following. So I have the 2 slashes that is always there for the Xpath. The A tag, the tag name that I'm using is A, contains the Raj Television Network. This is the element that is the self element. Now from here I want to see the following elements. Okay, so what I'll do is put 1 slash, I'll write following 2 colons. Now I don't know what are my following elements, so I'll just put the asterisk mark, and here you can see, we can see there are almost 13,000 elements that is matching to the following element. You can see. So just have a look over here. The one that is highlighted, the blue one, is the following elements that is over there. These are the following elements. Okay, this blue one that is highlighted over here, there are almost 13,000 elements that is matching over here. So this is the following element. So I'll just print the number of following elements that is present over here. So I'll just write driver dot find elements by dot Xpath. I put the following, and let's give a web element. I'll write the is equal to driver dot, and it is of type list, because the number of web elements that is identified over here are almost 13,000 web elements will be identified over here. So I'm writing list web element, and the following tag, that is the web element that I'm specifying over here, and the driver dot find elements by dot Xpath. And next what I want is, so I want the number of following elements from the current HTML tag is, and I will write following tag size. Let's execute this. Okay, so my Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized. So these are the number of the following elements from the current HTML tag that is present over here. Now let's see the following sibling. Okay, so let's check out the following siblings that are present over here. So what I'll do is I will just write following sibling. I don't know the number of following siblings, so I'll just write the asterisk, and it says that there are 0 number of following siblings present over here. That is, there is no node next to the self node. So again, what we'll do, we will traverse to the ancestor. So our ancestor tag is the tr tag slash following sibling, and then let's see. So what we did, we traversed to the ancestor tag, that is the tr tag, and from tr tag we traverse the following siblings. So the following siblings that are present over here are these are the following siblings. You know this blue marking done over here, these are the following siblings. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just print the number of the following siblings over here. So what I'll write is, I will write driver dot find elements by dot xpath and the following sibling over here, and then I will following siblings. Okay, so let's execute this. So my Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, it's maximized. Okay, so here it is. The following siblings are 1705. Okay, so the number of following siblings that are present over here is 1700. So now let's see the preceding. Okay, so what I'll do is, I will slash preceding. Now I don't know the number of preceding elements over here, so I'll just write asterisk, and here you can see this is the entire preceding elements that is present over here. The entire preceding elements that we have is this. Okay, now what if I write preceding sibling? So there are 0 elements that is matching over here. So again we will go to the ancestor, the tr tag, and then we will go to the preceding sibling. So there are 6 elements that is matching to the preceding sibling, that is these elements. Before the RAS television network, the elements that is present is the preceding siblings. After the RAS television network, the elements that are present is the following siblings. And the elements that are present before the last television network, all these elements, this entire page that is present before the last television network is your preceding. Again, let me show you. This is your preceding sibling, but whereas your preceding is this is your preceding, and your preceding siblings were only these columns that is present over here before the RAS television network. So that is the difference between the preceding and the preceding siblings. Okay, so keep in mind that. So let's first do the preceding one. So I'll just copy this, and we will see there are at least 200 elements that is present over here. So I'll just write list. We are finding the web element over here, and I'll write the preceding, so pre, and then driver dot find elements by dot xpath, and then this syntax of xpath, and the next line I'll write s out. I'll write the number of preceding nodes are. So our Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized. Okay, and here you can see the following siblings are 1700, and the number of preceding nodes that are there is 200. Okay, so 217. So these are some preceding. Now let's see the preceding siblings. Okay, so what I'll do is, I will first find the number of elements that is present. So what I'll do is, I first traverse to the ancestor. We have the ancestor tag, that is a tr tag. Then I'll write one slash, and then I will write preceding siblings, this, and I'll write the asterisk sign. And you can see we have 6 elements matching over here. So I'll just copy this xpath, and I'll write list is equal to driver dot find elements by dot xpath, and I'll place the xpath over here. So s out, and the number of Okay, so let's run this now. So our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized. Okay, so here it shows the number of preceding siblings are 6. Similarly, we have seen over here there are 6 elements that are matching, so the number of preceding siblings are 6. So this is the code that we have executed today for the Xpath Axes, in which we have seen the self node first and the parent node, the child node, the ancestor node, the following siblings, the preceding and the preceding siblings. Okay, so so far we have understood how do we write these elements when we are having a dynamic web page. So this table is dynamic, it keeps on changing. You can check it out also if you like open today and open it tomorrow. So these companies keep on switching, okay, depending on their change in prices. This is the way that we can identify the ancestors and child nodes, how to first traverse to the child node and then for how to first traverse to the ancestor node and then to the child node. So this is the way to do it. So now this is the first web page that we traverse, and then the next web page that we're going to automate is this one. Okay, this code is available on the GitHub, so I'll give the link in the description box so you can check out. Okay, so this is the second web page that we are going to automate. We're going to use the Xpath Axes over here. We'll find the parent, the self element and all the elements, the Xpath Axes elements over here. So first is to identify the self element, right? The self node. So I'll be taking this company name as the self node. So here it is, the company name. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my SelectorsHub and let me see. Yes, this company name is my self node and here it is. This is the, just copy the relative path over here. I'm using the 2 slashes first, the 2 slashes that is used for the Xpath normally. Then the input tag, here you can see we have the input tag and the ID locator has been used. The ID locator in which the value is the company. Okay, so as I said, the Xpath Axes can be used with any of the locators and in fact it can be used with the methods also. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write a slash. This is the self element, so I'll write the self, 2 colons and the tag, that is the input tag, right? The tag that is usable over here is the input tag. So here you can see that there is only one element matching, that is this element. Okay, so I'll just copy this. So I'll write driver dot find element, because one element I'm finding, by dot Xpath, and I will specify the Xpath over here, and the command that I want to send over here is send keys. The company name is ABC. That's the company name. Run this. So my Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized, and here you can see the company name, that the command that is sent over here is ABC. Okay, so here our self node is identified. Let's find the parent node. So here this is our self node. So I'm writing the 2 slashes, that is the and the tag name that I'm using is the input tag, the ID locator that I'm using, and the value is company. So slash, and I'll be using parent. Now I don't know the number of parents over here, so I'll just write asterisk and then let me see, there is only one element. The form here you can see. Why? See, because here input, above input we have the select tag which is of the same level, then we have the div tag which is of the same level, next we have the form tag which is the parent tag. Why? Because above input, now you must be saying about the self tag that I said, the current HTML node is this input tag. Above this input tag we have the select tag, right? So this should be a parent tag. No, this tag and this tag are on the same level. The parent tag over here is the form. So the parent tag over here is form, right? So we will access this element. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. I'll just write driver dot find element. Now sometimes there is a question where people ask that for relative XPath, for absolute XPath, are there different ways of writing, like by relative XPath, by absolute XPath, by Xpath Axes? No, there is only one XPath, that is by.xpath. Okay, Okay, so this is what, and what I want is I want to find the value. Let me find the value of it. What value do I get from here? So I'll write string parent is equal to driver, and I'll write parent. So our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated. It's maximized, and the company name, that is the ABC, is being sent over here. Now you must be saying that here only one element is found, but the value that is printed over here, you can see there is a number of values that is printed. The parent value is name, email, role, job, and all these cities names and states names, and this entire thing is printed. Why? There's only one element matching, and how come all these values are printed? Why? As I said in the previous time when we were automating that table, that dynamic table, at that time also I said that when we are traversing to a parent tag or an ancestor tag, so all the tags that are under it, their values are printed. When we are printing the value, we are finding getText, right? The getText method has been used over here. Through getText method, we are finding the values, we are finding the text that is there for the parent string. See, the variable that we are using is parent over here, right? And the element that we are finding is this, the parent element, right? So we are printing the parent element, right? So while printing the parent element, all the elements that are under form, all the elements are printed over here, okay? So here you can see until the form is ended, till here. So all the elements that are present till here, all the elements that are present, see here you can see it's highlighted. If you can see, this entire frame is being done, framing is being done, okay? This yellow color frame that is done, this is your parent tag that is this showing. This entire thing is your parent tag. So everything is printed over here. That is the name, your email, your role, your company, your country, your postal code, your username. Everything that is present over here by registering, everything is present over here is printed on this console, okay? So here you can see by registering you confirm. Similarly over here also by registering you confirm. So everything that is present under this form tag is printed over here in the parent. This is one way. So I'll just comment this because it's printing a long message. So this is the way we can do the parent tag. Next we have the child nodes. I'll write / child 2 colons and the asterisk mark, and you can see 0 child elements that is identified over here. So what you're going to do again, we go to parent, we can go to parent. The parent tag that we're using is the form / child 2 colons, and then we can use the asterisk, and you can see we have 26 elements that are highlighted. You can see 26 elements. The entire form is highlighted over here. If you can see each and everything, we have the name, we have the email, we have the role, company, the country, the postal code, the username, and all these elements are highlighted over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll just print the number of elements that is matching over here. Similarly we did in the previous while navigating the previous web table, the table that was there, the dynamic table. So I'll just write list and the web element driver dot find elements. I'm using find elements by dot xpath, and I will specify the xpath over here. And what I want is I want to find the number of child nodes, right? Plus child nodes dot size. We're using the size method. See, the reason why I'm automating 2 web pages, because that was a dynamic one, this is a static one. There is no such changes in it, but you should know, you should have a hang of it, and it's a good practice to practice this way. Okay, so you can automate any of the site, like you can automate the facebook.com, you can automate Gmail, you can automate the Google, so you can automate any one of it. That's on you. So let's run this command. Okay, so our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated, it's maximized, and the company name, that is the ABC company name. And let's see, the number of child nodes are 25. So this way we have found the number of child nodes. Now let's find the following. nodes. So this is our self. After the self node, all the boxes that are showing over here is your following, right, till the end. So I'll just write following, and we have the 562 elements, that is the country, postal, username, this entire thing that is there, right, all the thing that is present over here, this country, postal code, username, by registering, all these elements, that is the 562 elements that is present over here, are under your following. Okay, same thing we'll do. We will copy it, we will write list web element. So let's execute this. Chrome browser is launched, it's navigated, and it's maximized, and here our country value is being sent, that is ABC, and the number of following nodes are 560. So there were among 500 nodes that were present, so the number of following nodes that are present over here. Similarly, we'll go for preceding. Okay, so this is the preceding that we have. So let me just print the values of here. See, it's similar to the previous web page that we automated. So this is the same. This is just for the practice purpose. So open your Chrome browser, it's launched, it's navigated, it's maximized, and the company name is also being sent over here. And here you can see we have the number of child nodes that are given is 25, the number of following nodes is 560, and the number of preceding that is given away is 108. Okay, now let's find the following siblings. Okay, so this is the command that I've written. I have written the 2 slashes, the input, the tag name, the ID locator that I'm using, and the value is company, and slash following siblings, and 2 colons and the asterisk mark. So this shows the following siblings, that is the country, postal code, username, and this value and the sign up. Following siblings means this is the form, right? This is the parent tag over here is the form parent tag, right? So under the parent tag, after the company name, all the values that is coming, all the web elements that is identified after the company name are your following siblings. Whereas following means the country, the postal, the username, this, the sign up, and then this login, already have a Salesforce developer environment. All this is the following, and whereas the following siblings is the country, postal code, username, and this value and the sign up value. Similarly for preceding, let me show you the preceding as well. So this is the preceding. There are 12 elements. That is the elements before the company. That is the company, role, email, name. And whereas when we are finding the preceding element, not the preceding sibling, the preceding element, we have all this also, that is get your own developer edition and all this is also included. Okay, so preceding, here you can see in the output that we have found that there are preceding is only 108, whereas the preceding siblings is 12 elements. So there is a difference between the two. Okay, so remember that. So these are the 2 syntax that I've written, the 2 commands, the following siblings and the preceding siblings. So let's execute it. This is our Chrome browser is launched. It's navigated, it's maximized, and the company name ABC is being sent over here. And here you can see the number of following siblings at 12, the number of preceding siblings at 12. Okay. So this way we have seen the child node, the parent node, the following node, preceding nodes, and all the nodes that we have studied the relationship of nodes as well. So till now we have covered many things about the XPath. We have covered what is the XPath, the different types of the XPath, that is the absolute and the relative, and which one is better to use. Then we have studied about the XPath operators like the AND and the OR operator, the contains method, the text method, and the starts if method. Also we have studied about the XPath Axes. So this is a simple cheat sheet which I usually use to refer the XPath whenever I study XPath or need to revise XPath. So this is a cheat sheet which I usually use it. You can also use it while going before the interviews. So let's get a hang of it. So these are some of the methods that is used for the XPath Axes. Like I said, the 2 colons in the scope of, and we're using the 2 slashes or 1 slashes. Now there's one thing that I need to remind you. See over here, you can see in the axes, which is the self, following, sibling, we have the 2 slashes specified over here. It does not matter whether you put the 2 slashes or the 1 slash. For example, let me show you. This was the page that we were navigating. Like suppose we were inspecting this page, this one, and we were traversing to the parent, right? And there's only one parent element. So this one. So I have used two slashes over here. If you can see, I'll write it in front of you, wait. Two slashes I have used. There are two slashes over here, and I'm using parent, two colons, that is in scope of operator, and an asterisk sign, which is used to select all the elements, right? It shows all the elements, so it's selecting only one element is matching over here. That is the form tag. As I said, the form tag is the parent tag, whereas if I use one slash, I have used only one slash and parent and two colons and asterisk. Still the one element, still only one element is matching. Okay, so it does not matter if you put two slashes or one slash to it. Okay, so next we have the slash tag name. The tag name, slash tag name, is used to write the Xpath that we usually write, that is the relative Xpath. The syntax of it is this: the two slashes, the tag name, @ the attribute is equal to value, for example ID, and the value that we use, it in country or anything. Then we have the contains method and the text method. In the contains method, we can have the two slashes, tag name, and the contains method, and we can write @ attribute and the value, for example @ ID and the value, that is country. Similarly, if you want to use contains method and the text method together, okay, so what we're going to do is tag name, contains, text, and then the value. Now here the star, the asterisk which is used over here, right, it selects all the methods with the same value. Now for example, if I write two slashes and the asterisk method, contains, text, and the value that I'm writing is country. So what it will do is it will select all the value which is having country. Okay, whereas if I'm taking tag name, like for example if I'm writing input, so under input tag, whatever country values are present, it will select that. Okay, so that is the difference between the asterisk and the tag name that is present over here. Next we have the logical and the or operator that we were using. Similarly, we can just use and the or. The chart I have given the chart about the and the or operator, in which case the element will be identified, in which case it will not be identified. You can check it out in the previous tutorial. Next we have the start with function that we are using. This is similar to the dynamic functionality which we were studying in the previous tutorial, the on and the off button which I explained. So you can write the starts with @ attribute, the value, whatever value is having the same value. For example, the start and the stop button, right, they have the two words, that is the ST words, the starting value are same, right, so we can use that. So starts with is used in that case. The next we have the Xpath Axes, that is the self, following, sibling, ancestor, preceding, descendant, parent, and child. These are the syntaxes of all these self and following which we studied till now. So you can have you can study this and get a hang of it. Okay, so this is a small cheat sheet which I usually refer while studying the Xpath, so you can also check it out. So this is all for today. We learned about the Xpath, the advanced Xpath. We saw the practical implementation with the static web page as well as the dynamic table that we have seen. So in the next tutorial, we will study about the shadow DOM object. Until then, please like, share, and subscribe this video, and thank you.